Wimbledon final today. Venus Williams had 2 set points against Garbine Muguruza of Spain in the first set, but Muguruza fought back to take the set and then dominated the second set, setting up a championship point that in typical 2017 fashion was confirmed by the Hawkeye computer tracking system.
Big, deep backhand on the line. It comes back onto the line from Williams, who opens up the forehand side and goes cross-court, but Muguruza had stopped the points. She did it immediately.
Oh, that's close.
Hawkeye will tell us if we have a winner or not.
It is out. Wow.
The ball was out. It is game, set, match. It is championship. Garbine Muguruza, who's down on her knees in front of the players' box.
I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
We are Bonbon. Woo! All right, everybody freeze.
This is The Big Lead with Jason McIntyre.
Hey, let's go.
The Big Lead is now.
Can you dig that?
Live from the Geico Fox Sports Radio studios.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Here's your host, Jason McIntyre.
We're back on The Big Lead, Fox Sports Radio. I'm your host, Jason McIntyre, coming to you live from the Geico Fox Sports Radio studios. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. Just breeze through that first hour. Fun little Saturday morning in July, although our next topic may get people a little fired up. Hey, I just thought of a joke. I'm terrible with jokes because I can never remember them. But I just saw that Venus Williams lost to some lady from Spain in the Wimbledon finals. And her name is something like Muguruza. And I just thought of a funny line from the movie Office Space. Do you guys remember where the Bobs come in? And they go, we're going to fire Samir Naga work here anymore. And they just toss his name. So I hear this Muguruza. I'm like, Muga who? Anyways. I liked Office Space, guys. Funny stuff. That's a great movie. It holds up well. All right, I teased it at the end of last hour. On thebiglead.com this week, I wrote a post ranking the 30 best players in the NBA. Age matters, people. Win shares. ESPN's NBA player efficiency ratings, that matters. Scoring, defense, fit. I mean, we got to take everything into account when you're ranking the best players in the NBA. For instance, guys are tough. Draymond Green, we got Tinder Nick in the building, working the sounds, and I was emailing with him about this. He's fired up. Listen, it generates discussion, okay? Free agency's done. Summer League quarterfinals are tonight, I believe. By the way, Lonzo Ball's in the quarters. He's carried the Lakers the last 3 games. He's been very good. I'm excited about those. But when you rank the 30 best players in the NBA, there's going to be some beef everywhere. You know what, Nick? Why don't I kick it to you? And I will say, who did you have the most beef with in my ranking of the 30 best players in the NBA?
Not going to lie, Jason. Katie at 1 is still a little premature. It's a little premature. I know we talked about it a while ago. I know we said the whole, passing of the torch.
Passing of the torch,
Light on the Russia scandal. She said Dems will try to force House votes on issues related to Russia's interference in the 2016 presidential election.
Republicans in Congress should stop hiding from the truth and stop hiding the truth from the American people.
Finally, the fight is still 6 weeks away, but the
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-303-3398. 800-303-3398. That's 800-303-3398. Call now. 800-303-3398.
Welcome to the Garden America radio show, the country's most listened to gardening program. This is your chance to talk about gardening, horticulture, landscaping, in fact, anything that has to do in the world of gardening. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or send us your questions and comments to john@gardenamerica.com. Now, here's Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco, and Tiger Palafox on Biz Talk Radio and the Garden America Radio Network.
Saturday morning. Welcome once again to the Garden America radio show, live on Facebook right now. And across the country, around the world, Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox, welcome. 855-424-9825. Lines are open right now. And our director and studio coordinator will put you in line. We'll try to answer as many questions as possible. And don't forget, if you're tuned in on Facebook Live, you can chat, post comments, questions there as well. Talk to each other, talk to us. Again, from Biz Talk Radio. Here we go on Saturday. Happy weekend. John had a rough week, didn't you?
No, I had a pretty good week.
Okay, I always take a stab at it. It's
you know, it's so funny because right when you saw him for the very first moment, you look rested, John. You look good,
ready to go.
But then as soon as we get on air, John, not looking so good.
I like to see what he's going to say. I'd like to hear what you're going to respond with.
You know, it's been an unusual weather week here in San Diego because we've had a lot of humidity, which we never have.
Right.
And I think L.A. had some thunderstorms last week, right?
It's like weather you'd expect down south in the southern areas of the country.
And then our sympathy goes to our listeners back in the Midwest because they've been having flooding up around the Chicago area, a lot of flooding. And a couple other places, too, where it's just been raining like crazy. So it's been a wet week for a lot of our listeners.
And we've dealt with unusual weather. You mentioned the humidity. We're not used to that. It's been very hot. I've been watering every other day in my patio with my potted plants, and I can imagine you've upped your watering schedule, too.
Yeah, I water every day.
You have to, yeah.
But, you know, I remember a couple weeks ago we were talking about how I moved those 5 camellia plants.
That you've never had success with. They've always died.
Well, so I went online and said, well, you can move camellia successfully if you follow these simple rules. And rule number 1 was never move camellias in the summer.
which I assume you've done every single time.
Right.
Okay.
But, so this time, what I did was I had 5 of them that I moved. One I cut the roots off accidentally, so I was pretty sure that wasn't going to grow. And then the other 4, I just put in the spots that I wanted them, and then I thought, I'm going to treat these with HB 101. So I mixed them up in a watering can, and for 5 days in a row, I put HB 101 on 3 of the 4. The reason I didn't do it on the 4th...
You're testing.
No, I wasn't testing. It looked the best, and it was back in an area where I really couldn't reach. I mean, it was inconvenient for me to do it. So it's now been not quite 2 weeks, and I went out there last night, and out of the 4 plants, 3 looked fantastic. And the one that looked the best that I couldn't reach looks like it's dead.
So the HB 101 really...
I don't know. That could be just an anecdotal occurrence, and, that could be the story. But I'm pretty convinced that the HB 101 did it. Our friend Joel had a rose that he said was dead. And one of the members of the California Rose Society was castigating him because she said that was the last one that we knew of. You were supposed to be taking care of that rose. It was a florist rose called Terracotta.
That's a big responsibility. Last one there is in existence.
Well, not in existence, but the last one we knew of, at least in the San Diego area. So I think he felt bad. So he's the one who always uses,
right.
If some is good, more is
Sure.
better.
And he admits to that. No big secret.
So he put out 2 weeks ago, he mixed HB 101 up at, I think, at 10 times the strength, and went out there and poured it on his plant. And he called me last night and he says, you know what, I have a bloom.
On that rose?
On that rose.
That's amazing.
That was totally dead. He said, I looked at the stems and they were black all the
Sure.
way down to about 1/4 of an inch.
So there was just a little bit that was still viable?
Still green. And
Yeah.
so he said within 2 weeks it put out a bud. And
Are we still selling HB 101 on our website?
We do.
Okay.
We do.
Yeah, I know
A lot of good products. The other thing that we've been having a run on, and fortunately Tiger's the one who gets to do the shipping on it, because I ship the HB 101, but for some reason people have been going crazy on Fertilome products.
Yeah, and with the triple action, we've been shipping a lot of the triple action from Fertilome, right?
And I saw you added a new one.
Yeah, I love
this. We're talking about our Garden America on Amazon.
Yeah, and I can't get enough of the product, the spinosad soap that they have. It's a ready-to-use product. It's good to use on caterpillars and chewing insects, but at the same time works on aphids and some of the sucking insects.
Guys, speaking of Fertilome and people that are watching us on Facebook right now, when we get the wide-angle shot, they see somebody sitting in the middle of both of you.
Right.
And we should probably set that up for what we're going to be doing today. So why don't you go ahead, Tiger?
I didn't even notice.
You didn't notice that there's somebody sitting to your right.
No, I was busy doing other things.
No, but we're excited because this morning we have Andrew Jannenberger from Fertilome Products, and we're going to be talking about plant propagation and using their rooting hormone to be able to propagate plants that maybe you have and you enjoy and you want more of them in your garden. So we're going to talk about how people can take cuttings and then you dip them in the rooting hormone, and then you'll be able to grow them, share them with friends.
And we're going to try to do our best to do this on camera, obviously. Yeah. Hi there. As Tiger sets up the various shots that we have. So we'll be getting into that a little later on. John's got the quote of the day. Of course, your phone calls, your comments, again, Facebook Live, as we continue with 2 hours every Saturday.
Now, if we're not on camera, are you going to do the play-by-play?
Take me watching the screen and see what's happening for those that...
yeah, for people that are maybe driving in their car or something.
Yeah, we'll talk about what we're doing, absolutely.
Tiger grabs his cutting. He's approaching it.
Wow, look at you.
Putting his dip.
Are we watching?
Are we watching the Masters?
Tennis?
Yeah, Masters tournament there as he steps up to the tee with a 3-iron. And here's the shot. Beautiful shot off to the left.
With a Fisker's scissors.
Anyway, that's what's going to be happening today. So welcome to the show, 13 minutes after the hour. Again, from Biz Talk Radio, Garden America, every Saturday, 2 hours right here. And as of the past, month or so, live on Facebook. So welcome. Good to have you along.
Hey, have you been picking any tomatoes yet?
Yeah, so I pick them and eat them all the time.
Really?
Absolutely. Dana, come here. I got a couple more tomatoes for you. Or I'll be out there, sweeping and cleaning. Just pick it, eat it right off the bush.
Where did you put that?
On the top of my patio, on the railing.
And is it growing and hanging over?
It's getting there, yes.
Okay.
Because it was down a little bit lower because I don't believe in soil, as you know.
Right.
Yes, it is. And they're doing very well. It's a great little plant. I know you've got one, right, Tiger?
Yeah. No, mine's bushed out. It's not hanging over. Mine's more just like
mine's bushed out too, but
bush.
It will eventually hang over. They're great tomatoes. Just a little bit big. Well, not bigger than a cherry, but
right.
Because I pick them when they come to fruition when they're orange.
Right.
And they taste good.
Don't they turn red? I thought they're supposed to be red.
Yeah, kind of an orange. There's a hue. There's an orange hue.
You mean you don't eat them when they're green?
Yeah. So anyway, John, how about that quote of the week we've got here? We'll get things rolling and get into today's show.
Yeah, talking about tomatoes and harvesting, things are starting to turn ripe in our vegetable gardens. And this quote is from Mario Batali.
Mario Batali?
Yeah, the famous chef. And Mario said, you know, when you get your first asparagus or your first acorn squash or your first really good tomato of the season, those are the moments that define the cook's year. I get more excited by that than anything else.
No, I get that. Yeah, if you're a cook and you're planning things and ready for them to come up, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a summer fine the meatball. Wasn't that an old commercial?
It's a spicy meatball.
That's a spicy meatball. I think it was Alka-Seltzer.
Was it
I
Alka-Seltzer?
think it was, yeah, because the spicy meatball.
Yeah, I get it.
Stomach acid.
I get it.
Okay.
Okay, what else? 15 minutes after the hour. We got a break coming up here in about a minute and a half. So anyway, when we come back from the break, Tiger, set the stage again and what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, so this morning we're going to be talking about how to propagate plants. There's some good ways to do it and there's some wrong ways to do it. So we're going to be talking about the do's and don'ts, and also some products that you want to be able to use that'll mean you'll be successful. And then not only that, John, I think, will enlighten us on what plants you can do cuttings and which ones you shouldn't probably do cuttings.
Because I've noticed we've got a lot of shots this morning on Facebook Live of the setup that we have here. You see 3 empty pots with soil in it. I think, is there 3 there? Am I
There's
looking at
3 there, yeah.
3 there.
Exactly.
So we'll do our best to get good camera shots, good angles. And, of course, for those not watching on Facebook, we'll do our best, as John mentioned, a little play-by-play. So 60 minutes after the hour, we're going to come right back. Again, 855-424-9825. You want to email us. That's John@GardenAmerica.com. And, of course, right there on Facebook Live on this Saturday morning. Happy weekend. Thank you for joining us. We are going to take a break, coming right back here on Biz Talk Radio. This is Garden America.
There's more than one way to invest in your education. Investing in the right products, securities, and real estate generates secure and sound futures. What about an investment that retains its value? Consider college real estate. College real estate can provide housing for students and generate returns for their families. Through this special offer from Austin iLabs, you can download the free workbook from collegerealestate.com to see if this investment is right for you. Go to collegerealestate.com/radio.
I have to get to sleep.
Tom had a stressful day, and now he can't shut down at bedtime.
Need sleep.
To fall asleep fast, millions of people turn to Unisom sleep gels. They're non-habit forming and quickly help you sleep soundly so you wake recharged. Tom? Unisom sleep gels. A stressful day deserves a restful night. Use as directed. Active ingredient diphenhydramine hydrochloride.
This is Joe Lample from Growing a Greener World. With the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite Organic Nitrogen Fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 3 months. The organic nitrogen is slow release and won't burn plants even during hot, dry weather. Trust the fertilizer, proven effective for 90 years. Milorganite, for better results naturally. Visit Milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
Mosquitoes can transmit deadly diseases, including Zika virus, West Nile virus, and dengue fever. Use Summit Mosquito Dunks to kill mosquitoes before they become disease-spreading pests. Just float an organic mosquito dunk in ponds, bird baths, rain barrels, and any standing water to kill mosquito larvae for 30 days or longer. Don't worry, mosquito dunks won't harm people, pets, fish, birds, or other wildlife. Mosquito dunks are available at fine garden centers and hardware stores.
Are you married? Do you and your husband both have term life insurance? If you both don't, you should. You have a lot to protect. Call now, get a free quote for your husband, and while you're at it, get a quote for yourself too, because you both need term life insurance. Call now. 800-915-9658, 800-915-9658, 800-915-9658. Rates are at all-time lows. We'll shop over 30 top-rated companies to get you the best possible rates. Term life insurance, it's the perfect way to protect the quality of your family's lifestyle. You and your husband both need term life insurance, so call now for a free quote for the both of you. 800-915-9658, 800-915-9658. 800-915-9658.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and three-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-935-0752 now and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you a copy of The #1 Mistakes Retirees Are Making with Their Investments Today and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-935-0752. That's 800-935-0752. Employees of J.T. Melberg Financial have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
It is 21 minutes after the hour. Back from the break. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Saturday. Garden America, Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox, and of course our Facebook live feed. You can reach us, 855-424-9825. John at gardenamerica.com or right there on Facebook Live, posting questions and comments. Once again, Tiger, our in-studio guest today is the well-known
Andrew Dannenberger.
Fertilome
Products.
From Fertilome. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you for
having
having me.
And so Tiger kind of set this up prior to the break as we talk about what we're going to be doing this morning, the right way and the wrong way to propagate, correct?
Well, I guess Andy is going to be telling Tiger what to do, which I'm really looking forward to.
And then we'll have Tiger hopefully get a good shot of you on camera so that as Andy explains things and Tiger does it, it makes sense to you at home or wherever you're watching or listening to us from.
Yeah, but first thing we want to do is touch on where Andy's coming from and the products that he represents as well.
So go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, no, thank you for again for having me. So, Fertilome is actually now a 50-year-old company. They're going to be 50 years old next year, so we're really happy about that. So, we're a company that sells only to independent dealers all across the country. We're very proud of that. There's not a lot of companies that do that this time or these years anymore. So anyway, so we have a whole full line of products. We have Fertilome, natural garlic Fertilome, and then high yield. And specifically, Tiger asked me to come in and talk about our rooting powder and doing some cuttings here on the table. So I'm excited about doing that here.
Now, this time of year, during the summer, when plants are actively growing, it's probably the best time to be rooting, right? Because when plants are, during the cold season, if you try to root things, depending on what the plant is, but I mean, it's real easy to have plants rot or cuttings rot.
Exactly. The best time to do cuttings is when the plants are actively growing. Sure.
Good. I got that right.
Anything else you want to add before we get started this morning? And hopefully we'll get a good shot of Tiger doing what he does as you explain things.
No, nothing else much to add. Tiger, if you want, I know you have a few plants over there. There's not a lot to talk about rooting, Fertilome rooting powder. It is a 0.10% indole 3-butyric acid. Sorry, it's a mouthful, so it's a lot to talk about. But it is a plant growth regulator. It is just a fine powder. The product comes in a small container. Retail is very, very, very minimal, but one container actually does about 4,500 plants.
Wow.
So that's a lot for just one little small
It goes a
container.
long way, needless to say.
Sure, it goes a long way. And so Tiger's going to present a few plants here, and then we'll talk about what to do next.
And Tiger, can we keep that wide shot?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right.
So we're going to start off with the Asclepias first. And so we want to talk about where to take a cutting from first off on a plant and, how you want to take that cutting. So you want to walk us through that, Andy, a little bit?
Really, you want to look at the plant, and there's basically two segments. There's a node and an inner node, and the node is where the leaves are joining the stem of the plant. And then the inner node is the space between each sections of the leaves joining into the stem. Typically, you want to make the cut right above the node, not below it, but above the node. And what that does is that it leaves the node still on the plant to where it can continue to grow.
Right.
But then the cutting that you take is where you dip it into the rooting powder and put it in a good potting soil, and then you start your cutting. Really, the real essence of it is just cut, dip, and plant. That's really all you really do with the cutting.
Now, I know that that's exactly what Tiger did, and I've always, and this could be, I could be wrong about this, but I've always been taught to make sure that you tap the cutting to knock off the excess powder, because an excess of endobutyric acid will actually do the opposite and prevent plants from rooting.
Right.
Is that true, or did I just make that up? But when you get to be as old as me, Andy, you're never quite sure. It doesn't hurt to
when
check.
I was watching Tiger, there was quite a bit of rooting powder on there, and so you could.
It's probably a good idea,
It's
right?
probably a good idea to knock off some of the rooting, because really you're only going to put the rooting powder right on the cut itself is all that you need. A little more excess would probably prevent it from doing what it needs to do.
Plus, if you waste that much, Tiger, you're only going to get like 3,800 cuttings
instead of 4,500. Yeah.
Right.
Now, the other thing, too, I want to mention is, there's all these thoughts about whether you should do it with flowering parts of the plant or not flowering. So what do you do there? Do you want to avoid parts of the plant that have flowers on them? John?
Oh, you're talking to me. Well, it depends. For instance, if you're going to root rose cuttings, the cutting to take is from a stem that has just finished flowering. So once the blooms have fallen off, then the stem is ready to be cut and it'll root. With other plants, like you've got a geranium right there, I don't, the geranium stems are all pretty much the same, so it would be okay to go ahead and do your cutting. But I would definitely pull off any flower buds that are on there, because you don't want the strength of the plant going to the flowering when you want it to go to rooting.
And as we take a look right there, that's exactly what you're doing with that geranium, right?
Yeah, you can see that if the camera comes in on that. That's actually a good dip there.
And he's dipping
good
right
cut,
now, yeah.
A good dip and a good plant. There you go.
Yeah, very good. You see just a little bit of the white powder on the end of that.
Yeah.
And does the rooting hormone also help with disease or any other problems that may occur with cuttings?
Yes, it does. I mean, just having it covering that section of the cut where you cut the plant from is going to prevent any diseases from attacking or that part of the plant once you put it in the soil. So it is a plant growth regulator. So that's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to promote root growth at the point of where it's been cut and then into the soil media.
You just brought something up. When you make that cut and then you dip it, can you do that on any plants, or are there some plants, like I'm thinking maybe succulents specifically, that you normally let callus over? So in a plant like that, or a plant that maybe bleeds, would you let the callus form and then dip?
That's what I would do. On succulents, I personally don't use a rooting powder. I would just let it callus harden off, and then you can just go ahead and plant it in a soil mix for that particular plant.
And of course, the negative part of that is it doesn't help fertilome sales at all.
Well, yeah, but you'll sell more other plants than succulents typically across the country, anyways.
That's true. That's true.
And we've held that shot for a long time for those watching on Facebook, as you see what we're doing. And the music also means we're going to take a break here. Going to come right back. It is almost 30 minutes after the hour. Stay with us. as we continue to learn more about propagation this morning. Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, and Tiger Palafox. And Andy, how do you say your last name again?
Dannenberger.
Dannenberger. Okay, he's our in-studio guest this morning. As we step aside here on Biz Talk Radio for your Saturday, this is the Garden America Radio Show.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for under $30,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet under $30,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100 foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait.
Call 800-605-5370. 800-605-5370. Call 800-605-5370.
Are you struggling with addiction or alcohol problems? If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares. Call 800-547-6533. 800-547-6533.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares. Call 800-547-6533. 800-547-6533. 800-547-6533.
If you're suffering from hearing loss, stay tuned for a special offer from the makers of Listen Clear, a revolutionary hearing aid breakthrough designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. Right now, you can try Listen Clear hearing aids absolutely free for 45 days. You can also qualify for free shipping and free batteries for life. Listen Clear hearing aids are so lightweight and comfortable, you can wear them all day long. They're practically invisible too, so others won't even notice you're wearing them. And the best part is, you'll be able to hear almost everything, everywhere. So do something about your hearing loss. Call Listen Clear now to get started with your 45-day risk-free hearing aid trial. This special offer won't be available for long, so call Listen Clear now.
800-716-4650. 800-716-4650. 800-716-4650. We're here 24 hours a day to help. That's 800-716-4650.
Have you written a book and want to get it published? Then call Page Publishing ASAP. We're looking for authors of all types of books. And unlike most publishers, Page Publishing will take the time to review each and every book submitted to us. And we'll give you our feedback. And if we like what we read, we will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, the Apple iTunes Store, Barnes & Noble, and other outlets. We handle everything. Editing, cover design, copyright protection, distribution. So if you've written a novel, children's book, cookbook, inspirational work, poetry, or a biography and want to get it published, call Page Publishing now for your free author submission kit. Your road to fame and fortune could very well start with this simple phone call.
888-785-0618. 888-785-0618. 888-785-0618. That's 888-785-0618.
Due to an upturn in the economy, Main Street Business Loans has pre-approved the release of millions of dollars in small business funding. Your business may already be pre-approved to receive up to $250,000. We've sent out millions of pre-approval letters. We see the economy growing, and our underwriters believe now is the time to invest in your business so you can grow faster and make more money. And we're prepared to give you up to $250,000 to do it. Your funds can be available in 5 days. There are no application fees, no annual fees, just quick access to up to $250,000. If your business did not receive your approval letter to get up to $250,000, call Main Street Business Loans Approval Desk now.
800-430-7570. 800-430-7570. 800-430-7570. That's 800-430-7570.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or john@gardenamerica.com.
Open the door, baby, turn on the light. We're gonna have a party tonight for a rocker. For a rocker. I know it's late and you're already down. You ain't ready for people around. I'm gonna tell you something I found out.
I think Tiger's a Jackson Brown fan. As we are back, hello there, 36 minutes after the hour, back with Bryan Main, John Bagnasco. In studio guest Annie Dannenberger, Bryan Main with you, of course, Tiger Palafox. We're propagating. You're representing Fertilum, and we want to thank you for your support this year with Garden America. Andy, thank you so much, and thank you for being in studio. I want to make sure you have the phone number, 855-424-9825. You can also email us, john@gardenamerica.com. If you're watching on Facebook Live, post your questions, comments right there, and we'll try to get to as many as possible. Where did we leave off?
I think we were just talking about the different things people need to consider whenever they're taking a cutting or propagation from different plants. John, was there a couple Facebook questions that we needed to answer?
Yeah, there is one Facebook question, and then I got a million questions.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have a couple questions. So I want to get to our people first before I start asking.
Well, this one question, I don't know if there's a simple answer to, but Barbara says, when rooting most trees, should you look for new branches or should you root a mature branch? And those are called, when you're taking woody cuttings, those are called hardwood cuttings. And then when you're doing a new branch, those are softwood cuttings. And then in between are semi-hardwood cuttings.
I'm already confused.
Yeah.
So it depends on each species of tree. You know,
Right.
Andy, you were saying that on a lot of trees that it's better to just grow them from seed.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, it really depends on the tree. A lot of trees will flower and then will have seed. Depending on what the tree and not knowing what the species is, there are different types of reproduction of, or taking cuttings of plants by doing air layering or grafting, things like that. But not knowing what that species of tree is, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, air layering is an almost foolproof method for most trees. But again, it just depends on the type of the tree. Some trees root easily from cuttings, like if you're doing willows, willows will grow fine from cuttings.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even when you're doing grafting and air layering, you can use a rooting powder because you do wrap the air layer in plastic, and then you can put a light dusting of rooting powder in the bag to do that cutting from.
And I know that for some hardwood cuttings, they even use a more concentrated form of indobutyric acid. This is 0.1%?
Correct.
And they might use like 0.3 or something like that.
Right, from an ag store or something.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but the one that you have will take care of most things.
Yeah, most things.
So that's Barbara's question. Then my question is, did we tell people what you were sticking the cuttings into?
As far as the soil or the...
Yeah, like do you stick them?
We haven't.
Because I never root plants in soil, but I'm sure it's okay to go ahead and do it. But I use perlite because I have a tendency to overwater.
Right.
And you want to make sure there's good drainage, right?
Well, yeah, I don't want the cutting to rot.
Right.
Well, I think we recommend most of the time using soil because unlike you, the average gardener doesn't always think to keep it damp all the time. It's really hard to keep that humidity up for standard perlite cuttings, right? The general homeowner, it's easier. They get out there and water maybe once every other day, maybe once a week
So
for some
is this
people.
propagating for dummies? Is that what you're saying?
I think so. And it's the easiest way because that way you don't have John's way, just in perlite. What would you be watering, or how would you keep the humidity at that level?
I'd take a 2-liter soda bottle.
And you would cover it, wouldn't you?
Cut the bottom out of it, and I would stick it right over that pot.
And you create your own environment.
Like a little greenhouse, and it's
And
humid
then would you
in there all the time.
Would you have it sitting in a saucer of water?
No.
So you would water it once,
Right.
and then do that, and that would keep it humid enough.
Yeah, and if you water, well, I'm almost always rooting rose cuttings, so I do it like once every water like once every 3 or 4 days, and that's plenty. But now on these where you're going into the soil, one of the advantages of rooting in soil is that you don't have to, like when I do a rose cutting, I have to take it out of the perlite and move it to soil, which there's some transplanting shock involved, but you don't have that problem here. But on the soil, does it have to be a sterile soil that you're using, or?
Well, one of the things I was going to mention people need to consider when doing the cuttings is disease,
Right.
whether it's your pruners, whether it's the plant, or whether it's the soil you're putting it in. You need to make sure you keep it as sterile as possible. So
You don't want to transfer from one to the other with your clippers, right?
Yeah, so whether it's cleaning your pruners with some kind of bleach or some kind of, Clorox wipes or something like that in between cuttings.
Clorox wipes is a great idea.
Yeah.
It's
You
simple.
like that?
I
You
do.
like that idea?
I like that
He's
idea.
going to use it. Yeah, you just piqued his interest.
Yeah.
And then, the cuttings, you have to look at the plant, make sure it's healthy. Don't,
Right.
I'm holding ivy in my hand here, and you don't want an ivy with mildew and black spot all over it and do cuttings from that, because you're just going to get a new plant with mildew and black spot all over it. And then the soil, this is a new bag of potting soil. So I'm assuming it's almost as sterile as we can get it. You don't want to just use general dirt out of your yard or maybe an old bag that's been sitting there for years and years to be doing cuttings, because there could be bacteria or things that have built up in that soil.
Well, most potting soils are not sterile. You have to use a seed starting soil to have a sterilized soil, and for the most part, you don't want a potting soil to be sterile.
That's true.
Because you want it to be biologically active, and that's what's going on now.
Yeah, that's correct. Most soils, you don't want them sterile because you want whatever microbial activity that happens to be in there is going to help establish.
The good bacteria that's working underneath the soil.
Correct. Yeah.
So, and then I was going to ask you guys for the group, how long should people wait until their cuttings take root? On general, I mean, every plant's different, whether you're doing soft or hardwood cuttings, but a good rule of thumb where people can look at it and look at the plants and say, I've been successful or I haven't been successful.
Well, you can usually tell because the leaves are going to droop if you're not successful. And it depends again on the plant. If you're doing Tradescantia, Wandering Jews, you got 3 days and you've got roots and you're ready to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Overruns the yard in about a week.
Absolutely.
Right. But if you're doing roses, I've had roses take 6 months to root. But that was mainly in the wintertime when I said you shouldn't be doing it, but of course I do it year round.
Yeah. This is gardening, and it is a hobby, and so it's one of those things where you can take those plants that you may have in your yard that you want to do cuttings with and reproduce, and just test them. Like I said, 1 2-ounce jar does 4,500 plants. You got a lot of testing there to do.
You can make 4,500 mistakes, right?
Exactly.
All right.
Well, only for $5.99 also.
That's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
The other tip that I had for our listeners out there before I let you finish up there was there's hundreds of thousands of different species of plants in the world, and every one has its own different way of propagation, and some fall into one category, some in another, but a general rule of thumb is if you go to Dave's Garden and look up the plant that you want to propagate, it'll tell you all about the plant, but as you go down the list, it'll say propagation methods, and it tells you how to best do that plant, whether it's from seed or cuttings or division. stolons. Just depends.
Yeah, you can Google a lot of times plants, and then the Wikipedia part of that plant will tell you the best practices for reproduction.
Yeah, or geranium propagation. Google that, and you can get some information.
But for that, all people will say is just drop the plant on the ground and it will root.
Well, you know, geranium propagation used to be in the Midwest huge because we've talked about this before. They're annuals back there, and people would like to overwinter them, and so they would just dig them up, hang them upside down, and then plant them out again in the spring, or take cuttings and root the cuttings during the winter, then put those plants out in the spring. I don't know if people are quite as thrifty as they used to be back then.
All right, the music means we're going to take a break and come back. Our final segment, hour number 1. Love for you to join the conversation, be it Facebook Live, or else give us a call, 855-424-9825. John at Garden America. Thank you so much as we continue on this Saturday morning. And in Dannenberger, Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco, I'm Bryan Main. We're going to step aside as we approach 46 minutes after the hour. This is Garden America, heard exclusively right here on Biz Talk Radio.
How old are you? 25, 35, 50, or older? If you have pain, we can help. Do your knees hurt? Ow! Let me ask you again. Are your knees killing you?
Oh, yeah. Are they ever?
What about your back? When you bend over, does it feel like this? How about when you get out of bed in the morning? If you're like me, your knees and back feel like this.
Oh, that hurts.
I found a company called the Pain Relief Hotline. They specialize in ways to treat your knee, back, and neck pain without surgery or taking medications. The good news is if you have insurance, you may have little or no cost or out-of-pocket expense. I've used them. It works. Call the Pain Relief Hotline now for free information. 800-303-4607. 800-303-4607. Call now. 800-303-4607. That's 800-303-4607.
Mosquitoes can transmit deadly diseases, including Zika virus, West Nile virus, and dengue fever. Use Summit mosquito dunks to kill mosquitoes before they become disease-spreading pests. Just float an organic mosquito dunk in ponds, bird baths, rain barrels, and any standing water to kill mosquito larvae for 30 days or longer. Don't worry, mosquito dunks won't harm people, pets, fish, birds, or other wildlife. Mosquito dunks are available at fine garden centers and hardware stores.
Do you have insects on your roses? Do you have borers damaging your trees and shrubs due to stress or the drought? This is Tiger Palafox with Garden America Radio. Fertilome Tree and Shrub Drench is a great product that will give you season-long protection against many insects. Fertilome Tree and Shrub Drench can act as a preventer or a curative for insects that suck, chew, or bore on your plants. This may be the easiest product to use. Simply measure, mix in a bucket, and pour around the base of the tree. One application can last up to a full year. Protect your trees with Fertilome Tree and Shrub Drench. Find it at your local independent nursery or fertilome.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-521-9579 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-521-9579 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-521-9579. That's 1-800-521-9579. Again, 1-800-521-9579.
Do you have an old car sitting in your driveway? How would you like to learn a hassle-free way to get rid of it, help kids in need, and get a great tax donation in the process? It's real easy. One simple free call to our car donation hotline is all it takes. Call the Neshama Foundation at 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723. We'll come pick your car up for free and give you a tax donation for the full value of the car, running or not. The value of your unwanted car will go to help kids in need. It's fast and easy. Just call us and your car will be gone and on its way to helping children in 48 hours. And you get a nice tax deduction. Call the Nishama Foundation now to get rid of your car, help kids, and get a tax write-off. Call 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723. That's 800-721-6723.
Are you married? Do you and your husband both have term life insurance? If you both don't, you should. You have a lot to protect. Call now, get a free quote for your husband, and while you're at it, get a quote for yourself too, because you both need term life insurance. Call now. 800-915-9658, 800-915-9658, 800-915-9658. Rates are at all-time lows. We'll shop over 30 top-rated companies to get you the best possible rates. Term life insurance, it's the perfect way to protect the quality of your family's lifestyle. You and your husband both need term life insurance, so call now for a free quote for the both of you. 800-915-9658, 800-915-9658, 800-915-9658.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or john@gardenamerica.com.
It is 52 minutes after the hour. This is Hour 1, Garden America on your Saturday. Thank you so much for joining us. Our special in-studio guest, Andy Dannenberger, representing Fertilome, along with John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. I'm Brian Main. Lines are open at 855-424-9825. John at gardenamerica.com, right there on Facebook Live, posing questions and comments to us, or actually each other too. And we're going to wrap things up with Andy, but boy, thank you so much for coming into the studio. Any last words? We're going to keep those plants. You are, Tiger, and then see how they grow in the next month or so, right?
Yeah, we'll see if I have a green thumb or not. Our listeners will stop listening to me, or
maybe you have a new career path.
Exactly.
Can become a wholesale grower.
So, Andy, just a few things as you represent Fertilome and whatnot as we wrap things up and our little demonstration this morning, and a little more about your company as well.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for testing out and working with Fertilome rooting powder, or a little 2-ounce jar there. You're selling it there at the nursery that you own, Mission Hills Nursery.
Mission Hills Nursery, San Diego.
And so, yeah, hopefully those little 4 plants will survive there. I'm sure they will. So, anyways, but thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Andy, we have listeners all over the country, and they can just go to their local independent store and buy that?
Yeah.
Or maybe even go online and buy it.
Yeah, we have thousands and thousands of retailers all over the country. And you can go to any local independent nursery garden center and ask for, if they don't have it already, Fertilome rooting powder in a 2-ounce jar. Yeah.
All right.
Anything else? We've still got a few minutes here. Any questions, John, by the way?
We do have some questions from listeners. One was from Lenore, and we were talking a little bit about propagating trees and what's involved in that. And then she specifically wanted to know about cherry trees or citrus trees. And since she brought that up, it's also good to think about different times of the year. You might use different types of cuttings. And for instance, on cherry trees, which can be propagated from cuttings, you want to use semi-hardwood cuttings, and those occur in the summer. If you take them from the ends of the branches, that's what you would use. But in the winter, you would use hardwood cuttings, and it would be much more difficult. So again, Lenore, if you go cherry tree propagation, just Google that, you'll come up with all kinds of information, and it'll tell you what time of year to take the cutting and see what type of cutting it is. For me, it's always been more difficult to do hardwood cuttings than either softwood or semi-hardwood cuttings.
Yeah, and the one thing I think I had mentioned too is that people want to do this, and it's funny because they think the bigger cutting that they'll wait less time to they'll take a branch that's 4 feet long and think they can do a cutting from that, but that's not the case. What are we talking? 4 inches at max, kind of a thing.
Yeah, 6 inches. You can use thicker cuttings on some plants. For instance, if you were using a succulent, you might be able to take a stem of a cactus, let it callus over and stick it in the ground. Or plumeria cuttings.
Oh, yeah, you can take a plumeria tree, and just propagate it.
Yeah, and it just depends what it is, and each plant's going to be a little different. But it's like learning how to cook, right, Andy? Everybody's going to become an expert at one particular recipe, but try different recipes, and you can be successful.
Yeah, like I said, it is a hobby, so it's one of those things you just kind of test and test it out yourself and see if you like it and see if it works out for you.
I think John's a lot like me as far as being a little unconventional times when they say you shouldn't do that or can't do that. Well, that's the first thing we're going to do, or I'm going to do, is I'm going to try to do that anyway.
Yeah, we offered a lot of horticultural tips today as far as rooting powder and doing cuttings and stuff like that today. But really, for the homeowners, the Fertilome rooting powder is just a really basic, simple cut, dip, and plant.
That's it. Right. Very simple. Very simple. And again, you may knock off maybe some of that excess powder as well. Okay, 56 minutes after the hour here. We're going to take ourselves up to the top of the hour here at about 59 minutes after. 855-424-9825. John at gardenamerica.com and Facebook. Any more questions, John, before we wrap up hour one? And, of course, we're back at 6 minutes after for hour number two.
Not on Facebook, but I do want to thank all the people on Facebook who are making the nice comments about how much they like the show. We appreciate
That's nice.
that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Apparently, you do like Facebook Live. It gives you a chance to see what's going on here in the studio, take a peek at what we're doing, and, of course, we are reaching more people, too, so tell your friends. And boy, hope you join us every week at this time. We kick things off at 8 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast, 11 a.m. Eastern Time Zone.
I did get an email from Jimmy in Oceanside.
Our good friend Jimmy.
And he said that during the last 2 weeks on the show, we've been talking about Hibiscus schizopetalus. And he attached a picture and sent us a picture, which I can put to you. Maybe you can post it on Facebook.
I'll post it on Facebook. We can do that during the news break at the top of the hour.
Yeah, he said that on the subject of hibiscus, he still has 12 of the 16 exotic hibiscus that he backed, that Thomas or Charles Black, who we told you owns exotic-hibiscus.com, when he had an area out by Lake Wolford and was growing plants. And that's a lot to have 12 hibiscus. One time I was collecting hibiscus, and I got up to 80.
Now, what happened to that hibiscus thing you were on?
How many collections have you gone through over the years?
I was going to say, because I didn't see any.
That's how I learned about horticulture is, it's overwhelming to try to learn everything. So I've got 50 years in the business now, and I still don't know everything.
So you learn things one layer at a time.
But what I do is, I would collect Sansevieria, learn everything I could about them, and then go on to something else. I was doing Gesneriads at one time. I did bromeliads at one time.
I didn't see any hibiscus in your backyard. Do you not have any?
I read all 10 volumes of the Euphorbia Journal and, collected euphorbias at one time. I did. Hibiscus were way up in the back.
Okay.
They take up a lot more room than roses.
Hey, that's going to do it for hour number one. Andy Dannenberger, thank you so much from Fertilome for being our in-studio guest this hour.
Thank you.
And for the rest of you, we've got news coming up on many of these Garden America affiliates here on Biz Talk Radio. We are back at 6 minutes after. Keep the calls coming. Keep the questions coming. And, of course, keep watching on Facebook Live. Hour 2 coming up at 6 minutes after. Till then, hang tight. We're going to be coming right back here at Garden America on your Saturday on the Biz Talk Radio Network.
The opinions you hear on Biz Talk Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of this station, Biz Talk Radio, its management, or advertisers. The information on Biz Talk Radio does not constitute a recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or service. If you have any questions about Biz Talk Radio, contact us at 817-274-1609 or at biztalkradio.com. Biz Talk Radio.
USA Radio News with Jules McKinney.
A Honolulu high-rise blaze that killed at least 3 people and injured 12 was described as a horror movie as fire exploded from windows. The 36th-floor building is known as the Marco Polo Residences, and Mayor Kirk Caldwell said the building is not equipped with sprinklers.
We had sprinklers, Chief. Fire probably would have been put out by now. So, good example of what it means when you don't have fire sprinklers.
In other news, the Department of Justice is taking their case on the travel ban to the U.S. Supreme Court. A federal judge in Hawaii broadened the list of relatives who can enter the U.S. under President Trump's immigrant travel ban. U.S. District Court Judge Derek Watson ruled that people from 6 majority Muslim countries can enter the U.S. if they have grandparents, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, brothers, and sisters-in-law, or cousins who are legal residents of the U.S. This is USA Radio News.
Hi, I'm Wayne Alaroot for VRA. In 2003, Kip Herridge founded VRA, his global investment newsletter. His VRA is unlike anything you've ever seen. He's outperformed Wall Street every year since 2003. Today, in honor of the national rollout of my radio show, Kip wants to give every listener his new book for free. It's called Crash Proof Prosperity, Becoming Wealthy in the Age of Trump. To beat the markets and become wealthy in the age of Trump, get your free copy at VRAinsider.com. It's 100% free at VRAinsider.com. That's VRAinsider.com.
I have to get to sleep.
Tom had a stressful day, and now he can't shut down at bedtime.
Need sleep.
To fall asleep fast, millions of people turn to Unisom sleep gels. They're non-habit forming and quickly help you sleep soundly so you wake recharged. Tom? Unisom sleep gels. A stressful day deserves a restful night. Use as directed. Active ingredient diphenhydramine hydrochloride.
President Trump is bashing Obamacare in his weekly address, accusing it of wreaking havoc on people's lives.
The Republican senators are working very hard to get something that's going to be really good. The opposite of the big lie, which was Obamacare.
The president said the Senate is going to vote on legislation next week that will save American health care. He closed his comments by saying the federal deficit will significantly be reduced by the repealing and replacing of Obamacare. Meanwhile, House Democrats are turning up the heat in the Russia investigation. In a Capitol briefing on Friday, Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi outlined a new strategy to keep the spotlight on the Russia scandal. She said Dems will try to force House votes on issues related to Russia's interference in the 2016 presidential election. The California Democrats said Republicans are hiding from the truth. She also accused the GOP of being complicit in a violation of the U.S. Constitution. This is USA Radio News.
U.S. Sports Pages is your absolute one-stop shop for sports news. Why spend hours researching multiple sites to find your favorite team stories when our producers go through every newspaper in the country to pick out the best articles to reduce your prep time? We also include trending topics within the entertainment industry. USSportsPages.com is the only site you'll ever need to get your sports fix. Be sure to check us out today, the daily links at USSportsPages.com. Again, that's USSportsPages.com.
Former President Jimmy Carter says he's just fine after being hospitalized for dehydration in Canada. Carter mentioned his hospital visit while speaking to a group of Habitat for Humanity volunteers Friday in Winnipeg. The 92-year-old Carter spent the day working on a Habitat for Humanity site with his wife, Rosalind. She later confided to volunteers that all of the tests doctors performed on her husband came back okay, adding that she knew he had a good heart. Well, their fight may still be 6 weeks away, but the hype is building for the highly anticipated boxing match between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and UFC star Conor McGregor. The two wrapped up their world promotional tour with a press conference Friday at the SSE Arena in London. Mayweather began his remarks to the crowd simply by chanting,
"Hard work! Hard work! Hard work! Yeah! Money Mayweather is the name. ain't never been beat.
The 40-year-old Mayweather is a perfect 49-0 in his career with 26 knockouts and is widely considered one of the greatest boxers of all time. The 29-year-old McGregor is the reigning UFC lightweight champion with a 21-3 career record. Mayweather is expected to earn at least $100 million for the fight, with McGregor pulling in at least $75. For USA Radio News, I'm Jules McKee.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and three-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-935-0752 now and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you a copy of The #1 Mistakes Retirees Are Making with Their Investments Today and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-935-0752. That's 800-935-0752. Employees of J.T. Melberg Financial have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer.
Welcome to the Garden America Radio Show, the country's most listened to gardening program. This is your chance to talk about gardening, horticulture, landscaping, in fact, anything that has to do in the world of gardening. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or send us your questions and comments to John at gardenamerica.com. Now, here's Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco, and Tiger Palafox on Biz Talk Radio and the Garden America Radio Network.
It is 7 minutes after the hour. Good afternoon to our friends on the East Coast, and for the rest of us, good Saturday morning. Thank you so much for spending part of your weekend with us. It is hour number 2. Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco, and Tiger Palafox here, Garden America on Biz Talk Radio. Lines are open. If you want to get through and talk to us via the telephone at 855-424-9825. Again, that's 855-424-9825. Toll free, of course. Also, John at gardenamerica.com. If you're with us on Facebook Live, you can also post your questions and comments right there. We'll try to address as many as possible. And, of course, the propagation we did this morning, we're going to keep an eye on it. And, about a month or so, bring the plants back and see how well they're doing?
Yeah, I don't know. Some of these, the geranium.
Are they growing already?
They are. I'm seeing roots come out of the ivy here.
See how quickly that works, John?
Yeah.
I'm wondering what Tiger had during the break.
But, we are back, and that was good having Andy in from Fertilome. And, again, want to thank them for their support this year of Garden America. Geraniums, I told you I've got like 4 or 5 pots of geraniums. Very easy to grow. They grow all year long here in San Diego.
Right.
And very, very simple. So.
And there is one question on Facebook that surrounds the plant. He says, how do you propagate lilacs? Now, I want to be clear, there's a couple varieties of lilac. There's the California lilac, which is ceanothus, and then there's the, I would say, East Coast lilac, which is more of a true lilac. And I think in California we have one called the Descanso variety, which is supposed to grow here in California, not just the East Coast. But 2 different lilacs. I think the East Coast is a deciduous shrub that you would probably do more of the hardwood, semi-hardwood cuttings to propagate from.
Those are usually done just by division.
Oh, really?
Because they sucker so much.
Oh, okay.
You can just go through and divide those. But otherwise, if you wanted to do by cuttings, you would be correct. You do like semi-hardwood cuttings.
And then the ceanothus, which is a evergreen shrub or California lilac, those would be probably more soft tissue cuttings, kind of going from there as far as the ceanothus goes in different times of year. And I think you mentioned, Bryan, geraniums, and people say, oh, that's so easy. You just drop it and you grow. I mean, even the ivy that I have here, people talk about.
At least in my experience.
But the one time that I feel people have the one item that I think people have the most difficult thing with is the timing, because we know, as you mentioned before, seasonal, that cutting could sit there months without growing at all just because of the time of year. Right. And then it's going to rot or it's going to dry out or something, and then they're not successful.
Right.
And then they feel, oh, if I can't get a geranium to grow from cutting, I can't get anything.
And you guys always say how simple it is, and I can't do that.
Right. But at the same time, if you just do it at the wrong time of the year and it's not growing, there's nothing anybody can do to make that plant grow during certain times
that's
of the
nature.
year.
That's
right.
nature's timing. Not our timing.
Yeah. And even once you learn how to do something, like I've probably propagated thousands of rose cuttings, but I've had tens of thousands die.
yeah.
Right.
That didn't grow.
Right.
And even from the same plant, right? You'll do 10 cuttings from one plant, and if you are amazing, you can get all 10 to actually root and develop.
With roses, it depends on variety, because there's a rose called Fresh Pink, and I swear if you put in 10 cuttings, 12 of them will root. But I've mentioned before that I took 500 cuttings of Graceland and had 0 root.
Wow.
So some roses root easily and
some
others
don't. Everything's different.
By the way, I want to do a shout out to Jerry in Wyoming.
Jerry in Wyoming.
Yeah. Wyoming is there's some beautiful scenery in Wyoming.
Is Jerry watching us on Facebook? Or
yeah, he's joined us on Facebook.
Thank you, Jerry. Shout out to Wyoming.
Yeah. But it's a difficult place to grow things sometimes, because they've got shorter seasons and then heat during the summer. But thanks for joining us.
Now, I see we're still getting some shots of what we propagated last hour. I don't know if people still want to look at that, but if you are joining us and didn't, or were not with us last hour, that's what we did, is we propagated some plants there. We did, geranium, and what else did we do?
We did an Asclepias, which is a milkweed. We did a polygala. It's a sweet pea shrub.
I think polygala is probably
polygala.
I like the way polygala sounds better than polygala. Sounds
like Caligula.
Yeah. And we did a geranium, Asclepias, polygala, and an ivy. And these were all softwood cuttings that we did that we'd use the rooting hormone from Fertilome and put them into just a potting soil mix. And
I've got a question
see a few weeks
for both of you guys. I've got a rubber plant. What is the name of the rubber plant? What is the
ficus?
Really?
Yeah.
That's the name of the big rubber plant with the big.
Yeah.
It's called a ficus.
Yeah.
It is a ficus.
I had no idea. Okay, good. I'm learning something. Here's my question, because it's growing out of control. I fertilized it, watered it, put it in a big pot. It's just going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I cut, all this milky substance comes out. It gets everywhere.
That's how you can usually tell it's a ficus.
Okay. Now, what is that substance coming out? What's its purpose? And
latex.
Continue. You want to be my latex salesman?
Do you know where they get rubber from? Or used to get rubber from?
From what I'm talking
about.
about.
From rubber trees, which were actually related to ficus, but same kind of thing.
Because when I cut, it gets all over everywhere, that milky substance.
Yeah, if you cut your Ficus benjamina, you'll see the same thing. Edible figs, the Ficus carica, if you cut those, you've got that latex substance come
I
out.
think I almost talked Tiger into helping me pull out and kill that ficus. Only because it is more than 8 feet away from the house. But there's my little tile in the front by the front door, and as you said, those roots are only going to get bigger, and they are going to spread.
You know what I might have for you now that I think of it, because it's buried. I have a ficus. What's the clown fig called?
Clown fig.
Yeah, Parcellii.
Oh yeah.
Ficus parcellii growing outside, but it's overshadowing a Ficus benjamina that's in the ground that's been there for.
That cracks you up every time, Tiger.
Well, I love how he says overshadowing of Ficus benjamina, which is a very difficult thing to do. It's overshadowing.
Well, I'm not finished yet, though. The ficus that it's overshadowing is Ficus benjamina, but the variety is Natasha, and it's been in the ground for 20 years, and after 20 years, it's waist high.
Oh,
it's waist high after 20 years?
Yeah, and so obviously it's a miniature, right?
Okay.
But there's probably, I'm trying now, at the base there may be 20 to 30 cuttings in there that have all rooted. I could easily divide that and give you a piece of that, and you'd have a ficus that would stay small. You could put in a pot or in the ground and not have to worry about it taking over.
I would put it in a pot, and this time be very conscious of the fact that it may grow down through that pot again.
Well, if it did, it wouldn't hurt anything.
So maybe, yeah, I would love that, because once we take that tree down, it's going to look, the whole face of our front area is going to look entirely different because it's so tall. It's growing up now. It's as tall as the second story. And it actually looks very nice there. I hate to do this, but you scared me last week when you told me about what those roots are going to do.
Well, you saw the ficus by the side of my house.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I would take you up on that offer to put something there to replace it. So, yeah, thank you, John.
All right.
And then mentioning taking it out, so you would mention that white sap. It's sap out of the tree.
On the rubber tree.
Out of the rubber
patio.
tree, yeah. So when people take out or cut ficuses, they need to take that sap into consideration when they're doing cuts, because it will drip. It'll just come out of, and then it stains the concrete. It'll stain tile.
Absolutely.
If people have an umbrella or something else underneath, it'll just drip on there, and then it'll stain it. So you kind of need to put a painter's cloth, something down to prevent that from happening.
It stained my pavers.
Yeah, you can't get it out of anything. After that, I think maybe if you have concrete, using a muriatic acid or something to clean the concrete after could do that, but not even a soap or.
And I mentioned that because when I cut it, it gets everywhere.
Right.
And I have nothing down underneath it, and so got to be more conscious of that. Yeah. But the tree's doing fantastic.
The good thing about it is it's relatively harmless if it gets on you, but there are plants like euphorbias, the pencil cactus,
which I also have. You say you can go blind, right? If it gets in your eyes.
Yeah, and a lot of people will make the mistake of cutting it, getting that latex on their hand, and then rubbing their eyes or scratching their eyes.
And we do have one of those in our patio as well.
Yeah, so you do have to be careful with that. When we come back from our break, we've got some email questions.
Beautiful.
We can go over.
And again, also, thank you for watching on Facebook Live. You can post your question right there as well. As John mentioned, that's John at GardenAmerica.com. And, of course, still taking phone calls. Try to get to you as quick as we can. 855-424-9825 here. Saturday with your friends on Garden America.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for under $30,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet under $30,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100 foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait.
Call 800-605-5370. 800-605-5370. Call 800-605-5370.
Do you have insects on your roses? Do you have borers damaging your trees and shrubs due to stress or the drought? This is Tiger Palafox with Garden America Radio. Fertilome Tree and Shrub Drench is a great product that will give you season-long protection against many insects. Fertilome Tree and Shrub Drench can act as a preventer or a curative for insects that suck, chew, or bore on your plants. This may be the easiest product to use. Simply measure, mix in a bucket, and pour around the base of the tree. One application can last up to a full year. Protect your trees with Fertilome Tree and Shrub Drench. Find it at your local independent nursery or fertilome.com.
Mosquitoes can transmit deadly diseases, including Zika virus, West Nile virus, and dengue fever. Use Summit mosquito dunks to kill mosquitoes before they become disease-spreading pests. Just float an organic mosquito dunk in ponds, bird baths, rain barrels, and any standing water to kill mosquito larvae for 30 days or longer. Don't worry, mosquito dunks won't harm people, pets, fish, birds, or other wildlife. Mosquito dunks are available at fine garden centers and hardware stores.
If you're struggling to pay or haven't been making your student loan payments, listen carefully to this urgent alert. Have you been out of school for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? Are your student loans past due or even in default? Can't go back to school because of an old student loan problem? Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month, based on what you can afford to pay. One quick 10-minute call could help you solve your student loan problems. So call right now. Not available in all states. Payments may vary based on income.
800-685-0129. 800-685-0129. 800-685-0129. That's 800-685-0129.
If you're suffering from hearing loss, stay tuned for a special offer from the makers of Listen Clear, a revolutionary hearing aid breakthrough designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. Right now, you can try Listen Clear hearing aids absolutely free for 45 days. You can also qualify for free shipping and free batteries for life. Listen Clear hearing aids are so lightweight and comfortable, you can wear them all day long. They're practically invisible, too, so others won't even notice you're wearing them. And the best part is, you'll be able to hear almost everything, everywhere. So do something about your hearing loss. Call Listen Clear now to get started with your 45-day risk-free hearing aid trial. This special offer won't be available for long, so call Listen Clear now.
800-716-4650. 800-716-4650. 800-716-4650. We're here 24 hours a day to help. That's 800-716-4650.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or john@gardenamerica.com.
It is 22 minutes after the hour, back here on your Saturday morning or afternoon, depending upon where you're living and where you're watching us or listening to us from. Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. This is Garden America, Biz Talk Radio at 855-424-9825, john@gardenamerica.com. And, of course, thank you for your shout-outs from wherever you're listening or watching us. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, do let us know where you're watching us from. Like, was it Jerry in Wyoming, I think, posted something?
Yeah,
there?
how about this? You know, we're Garden America. We might have to go to Garden World because Liam just gave a shout-out from Ireland.
No.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Ireland.
Yeah, Liam says that most of the plants we mentioned can be air-layered. You know, if you don't need thousands of cuttings, you just want one plant. You can even air-layer roses.
Yeah.
You know, I've done that before for some of the ones that are really hard to root. So anyway, I'm not sure what time it is in Ireland.
I'm gonna say it's about 8 hours. It's 8 hours ahead of us.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Sure.
guess. So let's say, what is it, 9? That'd be about what 5, 6 o'clock in the evening?
Oh, all right. So he doesn't have to go to bed soon.
No,
So-
I think
But
he's okay.
he produces or represents a product called the Cutting Globe, which is a little product that he sells to actually make doing cuttings a little easier.
Now,
So
is that are those the?
It looks like a Pokemon ball.
And does it wrap around the trunk?
I know what that is,
Right,
too, by the way.
wrap around
Yes,
the
it does.
branch. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen those pots before, and they work really well.
Yeah. So good info there.
Okay, and then Lorraine in Santa Maria wants to know when the best time to fertilize her peach and apple trees. She's in Santa Maria. She planted them about 3 years ago, and what fertilizer is best? I don't think the types of fertilizers are really important. We usually recommend doing organic foods, especially in California, where our soils are depleted of organic material. The more organics you add, the better. So a good all-purpose food would be Milorganite.
Right.
It gives at least the organic source of nitrogen that the plants need the most this time of year. and also probably the best buy. But there's a lot of other foods out there. And as far as the time to fertilize them, just a general rule of thumb on deciduous fruit trees would be to feed them 3 times during the growing season. Once in the early spring, once in midsummer now, and then once in early fall, and that's it. And again, if that's using organic foods. If you were using chemical fertilizers, I think I'd skip the fall feeding. But would you do anything different, Tiger?
No, I think that what you hit on was right. And the one thing I think when it comes to cherry trees or citrus is kind of not wasting it, because like you had mentioned, people put a lot of fertilizers usually on these kinds of trees, and it doesn't always need it, but they just need that little bit consistently. And I think that people will be much more successful. People go to the store and they buy these citrus fertilizers, and then they pour a ton on it. Well, it doesn't always need it. And so they can save themselves a little bit of time and effort if they just follow the directions that it'll absorb at.
Exactly right. Cheryl's also checking in. Steve's sister from Simi Valley.
I think we've got a new listener with us, Cheryl.
Yeah, I didn't realize that she was up in Grants Pass, Oregon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Well, shout out to Grants Pass, Oregon.
Yeah. She says we probably haven't heard from Steve because he's probably out watering his garden.
Of course. I think he sleeps in his garden. I really do. He's got a tent out there. Hasn't been inside his house in years.
I have an email question here. Actually, several email questions. Well, I don't know if we can get to all this we've got.
We'll do as many as we can.
Yeah,
all right, well, this is from Eileen up in the Bay Area. She says, good morning, John, Bryan, and Tiger. Could you discuss what causes rust on gladiolas and the best treatment? Or should the bulb and the leaves be discarded? This is a new thing that's been hitting gladiolas, especially up in the Bay Area.
Right.
So you've heard about this before from the Bay Area?
Yeah, and it's serious. And I'm trying to think how many years ago now, maybe like 10 to 12 years ago when the rust started on daylilies. We never had daylily rust before, and then that spread everywhere. And the best thing for me was to use the Bayer Rose and Flower Care.
Mm-hmm.
And because that was a systemic insecticide and fungicide. And by putting that on when the plants began growing, and you do it maybe 3 applications, 6 weeks in between, so it lasts a long time, you'd be able to take care of it.
So she has to continue to do this? Is this something
once because otherwise it'll spread. It'll and eventually kill the plant.
So you can't just treat it and then walk away. It's a continual process?
Well, you can walk away for 6 weeks.
Okay, but but 6 weeks later again, it's a repeat process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just do that 2 or 3 times and your plants are okay. But
well, welcome Bay Area. All right.
One comment that was made was a listener and viewer mentioned that they have a cherry tree that's on its way out, and they were really excited to hear that they could propagate it to hopefully continue the tradition. And I think that's important for people to realize is sometimes they have an older tree or maybe a tree that something happened to it, whether a branch broke off or a gopher got to it, and it might be struggling, that you can take a part of that tree or plant, propagate it, and continue the tradition of whatever it was in the future. Because sometimes plants have meaning to people beyond just having a nice tree.
Oh, absolutely.
And so propagating it's important. And this is especially important with roses, as you mentioned before, because roses have a history or have something behind it that this is why it's about. And to keep it going, you have to propagate them and keep them kind of growing. So I think that was kind of
nice.
We
might have saved a tree this morning.
Yeah.
Just by that information.
The first thing I thought about when you started talking about that was Bruce and Sharon Asakawa have in their yard a lychee tree that came from Kate Sessions.
Wow.
And
really?
And it was a piece of a tree that they started as an air layering off one of Kate Sessions' trees. And they used to get hundreds and hundreds of lychee fruit.
That's a good way to save generations of trees. To keep going.
Yeah, and Kate Sessions started the nursery that Tiger now owns.
That's amazing. I only know Kate Sessions. Well, I know more about her now. But as a kid growing up, living in PB, Kate Sessions Park. Let's go up to Kate Sessions Park. I had no idea who she was or what it meant or why it was named, but it makes a lot of sense.
She was a San Diego horticulturist that was responsible in a large part for Balboa Park. Or at least for landscaping Balboa Park.
We used to go up to Kate Sessions Park to watch the submarine races. Not sure if you know what that's about.
Yeah.
All right, almost 30 minutes after the hour. Going to take a break. Thank you so much, Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. About a half hour to go. 855-424-9825. John has a bunch of email questions. Also, ask your questions and make comments on our Facebook page as well. As we pay a few bills, step aside here. Garden America, as the weekend continues on Biz Talk Radio. Thank you so much.
Are you ready to leave your corporate job behind and be your own boss? Have you ever dreamed of owning a business? Do you have $50,000 or more sitting around in a 401k? If you answered yes, it's time to invest in yourself by buying or starting a business or franchise. IRS code allows you to use money in a 401k to invest in a business with absolutely no penalties or taxes. At Guidant Financial, we've helped more than 11,000 entrepreneurs invest $3 billion in retirement assets into the small businesses and franchises of their dreams. So if you've got $50,000 or more in a 401k and you're looking for a way to start a business, call Guidant Financial now for free information and to learn more. Operators are standing by for your call. 800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. National Funding Group has just released $100 million in easy access small business funding to businesses that gross at least $100,000 a year. You can have fast access up to $500,000 in new business capital in as little as 48 hours. Think about the ways you could grow your business if you had up to $500,000 cash infusion. Call a NFG funding expert now. The process is easy. It only takes about 5 minutes. Then our management-owned lending team looks at your application for a fast approval. You can get 100% funded in about 2 days. If you need up to $500,000 in working capital to run your business and you gross at least $100,000 a year, call NFG and apply today. 800-296-1564. 800-296-1564. 800-296-1564. That's 800-296-1564.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-521-9579 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-521-9579 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-521-9579. That's 1-800-521-9579. Again, 1-800-521-9579.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800 800-595-6619. That's 800-595-6619. Again, 800-595-6619.
Have you written a book and want to get it published? Then call Page Publishing ASAP. We're looking for authors of all types of books. And unlike most publishers, Page Publishing will take the time to review each and every book submitted to us. And we'll give you our feedback. And if we like what we read, we will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, the Apple iTunes Store, Barnes & Noble, and other outlets. We handle everything. Editing, cover design, copyright protection, printing, publicity, and distribution. So if you've written a novel, children's book, cookbook, inspirational work, poetry, or a biography and want to get it published, call Page Publishing now for your free author submission kit. Your road to fame and fortune could very well start with this simple phone call.
888-785-0618. 888-785-0618. 888-785-0618. That's 888-785-0618.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
35 minutes after the hour. Welcome once again. It is Garden America here on Biz Talk Radio. Bryan Main along with John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. Thank you so much for joining us on Facebook Live and, of course, your email questions. We have so many questions to get to. We'll get to as many as possible. John has been kind enough to volunteer his time during the week to answer questions. No, just kidding. But we do have a lot, and I think, Tiger, you had one in particular you wanted to get to.
There's a way to get right to the top of the list with getting your question answered.
And then what is that?
If you give us a call.
Oh, that's true.
We'll take your question immediately.
We'll go right to the phone call. But I think, Tiger, you had one you wanted to address immediately?
Oh, I was answering Denise's question from Facebook about a lemon tree inside. And she wanted to know which variety of cultivar we recommended and what size pot and how to grow it. I recommended the Meyer lemon just because that's one of my favorites. And because it's easy to find, so I'm sure that she can find a Meyer lemon no matter where you're at. And I mean, inside growing, it's got to still be a minimum size pot as far as one of those half whiskey barrels. Use a premium potting soil and then fertilize once a month with an organic fertilizer during the growing time of year. Be great.
Yeah, you probably could get by with something closer to the size of a 5-gallon for maybe 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Indoors. But the plant definitely needs to go outdoors in the summer to have any chance of fruiting because it just doesn't get enough light indoors.
And the size pot after 4 or 5 years, you've got to up it.
Yeah,
because
you've got.
Otherwise, it won't have enough root system to support
you
the fruit,
do have
right?
to increase it, but it's just very difficult to move a half barrel in and out of your house.
Oh, these people on the East Coast, they can do that stuff, right? Yeah.
I used to, when I lived in Detroit, I used to go to a greenhouse in Ontario, Canada, and they picked their own oranges. And they had one greenhouse where they had citrus planted in the ground.
Wow.
And they could afford to do that, I guess.
Yeah.
That was really unique to be able to do that in Canada. Hey, we got an email from Rochelle in La Mesa and she says, I missed part of the program, which is unusual for Rochelle.
We're not going to shame her, no. It's okay.
But she says, what's the plant with the little violet-colored flowers on it sitting on the table? So she must be
shrub.
Sweet pea shrub.
Yeah.
Polygala.
This one's compacta. I like compacta a lot better than the other one.
Yeah, it stays more compact.
Well, it's just I feel it looks cleaner. The other one gets
It
loose
seems like it blooms more too.
The compacta?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I love this plant. It's one of my favorites. I can't get enough of them.
And I didn't plug my computer in today, and it just turned off.
That'll happen. Hey, we do have Marilyn online. Speaking of phone calls at 855-424-9825. Welcome to the show once again. Always good to hear from you. How can we help you this week?
Thank you very much.
What's going on?
I have a large area of succulents, and they are ready to have a topping put on them. Do you put bark or sand or what?
I
don't know.
Well, with the succulent, like a large area of succulents, whether they're a ground cover succulent or maybe you just have some, I don't know, portulacaria or creeping succulent, you have to be very careful putting a bark. You will rot them out real easily if that bark gets built up around the base of the succulents, because succulents like that dry soil environment that if you're going to put a ground covering around there, you have to be very careful, because any kind of organic product like a mulch or a bark built up around that base can end up rotting out that succulent because it just stays too damp around the base.
It doesn't get a chance to dry out.
Exactly. And so I would stay away from a soil covering like that in that environment just because of that reason. Now, some people will use a DG, which is a decomposed granite, or a gravel around them. But again, a thin layer that's not going to build up around the base of those plants is going to be really important to do, because when they get too much moisture around, and the thing about it is people say, oh, well, I don't water that much. And that's fine. You cannot water that much and you can have dry soil. But
succulents holds water.
Well, not only do they hold water, but there's nothing you can do when it rains. And if you have organic material built up around these plants and it rains, there's nothing you can do to stop that 2 inches of rainfall.
Right.
And it doesn't dry out for 3 or 4 weeks, and then your plants are dead. So, just watch out for that. So, I mean, as far as a soil covering around succulents, Marilyn, I would maybe just stay away from it. What do you think, John? Anything to add?
No, I think that if you want it just for appearance, the decomposed granite's fine, or some type of gravel. Sometimes people will use river rocks or something just for appearance sake.
Yeah. Sound good, Marilyn?
Okay, is that going to help you?
Yes, but don't go away, because I have. You were talking about soda bottles over things for humidity.
Yes.
And a friend of mine had something big and needed humidity. He took those bottles that are delivered water, with the big, and he cut
the big,
the
like
bottom
5-gallon ones?
Right. And put that over them.
Yeah, that would work great. And then I've also doubled and triple stacked the Coke bottles, because you can also do that if you cut the bottom and the top off. You can.
Oh, I see.
And,
they can grow bigger. Sure.
And the geraniums, years ago, Sharon had told me you take 3 clippings of geraniums, dip them in root tone, and put them in the winter when they all get watered, and that worked beautifully. So I just wanted to tell you guys. And people overuse root tone. You're supposed to dip it and tap it off.
Absolutely.
John reminded me.
Yeah, thanks for backing me up on that.
So I just wanted to give you those little things from prior times, and thanks for the suggestion for gravel or sand.
All right.
Well, thank you so much. We always appreciate your call.
All right.
All right, you got it. There you
Thank
go.
you.
855-424-9825. But I know we got a lot of questions to get to, guys, Facebook and email. So
yeah, I quickly wanted to answer Ryan.
Yeah.
Because he said that his grandmother's looking for ground cover roses, and she wanted something that was probably everybody would want a rose, I guess, that's thornless, but that's not going to happen.
Right.
But I think one of the best ground cover roses for what you're asking for, Ryan, would be the Drift series of roses that comes from Star Roses. And you said your grandmother likes peach color. There is a peach drift, which I think is probably the nicest ground cover rose available. So, and you can even get those at, check your local garden centers, but you can even get them at home improvement centers from time to time.
So not that hard to find.
Yeah, they're not hard to find at all. And peach drift is one of the best.
I love that peach drift because, I mean, it's common to find the red or the pink, but that peach really stands out, and it shows
And it blooms
better.
a lot. It just,
I think it shows so much better.
Right.
Yeah. So I like that peach drift rose for sure.
On to our next question.
Does it have thorns?
it does, but not as many as.
I don't remember
Yes, some
it
are
having much.
really, really thorny, but peach drift's not bad.
Yeah, no.
I think it would be one of the best choices. This one is from Carolyn. She says, thanks for the pertinent info this morning. One question, does plumeria sap stain pavers also? Mine just leaked. Says it's her fault yesterday. I've never seen that happen with plumeria. Do you know? Have you had any experience with it?
Yeah.
Will it stain?
Oh, you mean, will it stain?
Right.
I don't think, no. No,
Yeah, not like the ficus.
It's more water-based sap, and it usually washes right off. It does not stain like the ficus does. So, no, I don't think it stains.
Okay. And again, going back and forth from Facebook to John's email here.
Okay, let's see. This is from Keith in Point Loma.
Our San Diego buddy. Hello, Keith.
Yeah. He says, not realizing that Grow Big is primarily for hydroponics, I bought some. I'm mixing it at 1 ounce per gallon and using it as a foliar feed and a soil drench. Does that sound about right? Absolutely. That's what I'm doing too.
Really?
Yeah. 1 ounce per gallon. I think I'm using 2 ounces per gallon, which I think is a little bit too much. But yeah, I think 1 ounce per gallon is about right. And then number 2 is a question about roses, and we'll get to that after the break.
Yeah, we've got one more segment and a lot of questions to get to. Thank you so much for your patience. 855-424-9825, john@gardenamerica.com, but I'm sure John's email is almost full right now. Tiger Palafox, I'm Bryan Main. John Bagnasco, as we step aside, taking a break, coming right back here at Garden America on your Saturday. Happy weekend on Biz Talk Radio.
Do you want to take the great shows of Biz Talk Radio wherever you go? Well, now you can with the new Biz Talk Radio app for iPhone and Android devices. Now all the great shows of Biz Talk Radio are with you wherever you go, just an arm's reach away on your smartphone. Download today at the App Store or the Google Play Store and get the brand new Biz Talk Radio app. It's Biz for you wherever you go with the new Biz Talk Radio app.
I have to get to sleep.
Tom had a stressful day, and now he can't shut down at bedtime.
Need sleep.
To fall asleep fast, millions of people turn to Unisom sleep gels. They're non-habit forming and quickly help you sleep soundly so you wake recharged. Tom? Unisom sleep gels. A stressful day deserves a restful night. Use as directed. Active ingredient diphenhydramine hydrochloride.
Hi, this is gardening expert Melinda Myers. Keeping the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite Organic Nitrogen Fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 10 weeks. The non-burning, non-leaching formula provides a natural, slow, and consistent flow of nutrients. Trust the fertilizer proven effective for 90 years, Milorganite. Visit Milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
Do you have insects on your roses? Do you have borers damaging your trees and shrubs due to stress or the drought? This is Tiger Palafox with Garden America Radio. Fertilome Tree and Shrub Drench is a great product that will give you season-long protection against many insects. Fertilome Tree and Shrub Drench can act as a preventer or a curative for insects that suck, chew, or bore on your plants. This may be the easiest product to use. Simply measure, mix in a bucket, and pour around the base of the tree. One application can last up to a full year. Protect your trees with Fertilome Tree and Shrub Drench. Find it at your local independent nursery or fertilome.com.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-303-3398. 800-303-3398. That's 800-303-3398. Call now. 800-303-3398.
Are you married? Do you and your husband both have term life insurance? If you both don't, you should. You have a lot to protect. Call now, get a free quote for your husband, and while you're at it, get a quote for yourself too, because you both need term life insurance. Call now. 800-915-9658. 800-915-9658. 800-915-9658. Rates are at all-time lows. We'll shop over 30 top-rated companies to get you the best possible rates. Term life insurance. It's the perfect way to protect the quality of your family's lifestyle. You and your husband both need term life insurance, so call now for a free quote for the both of you. 800-915-9658. 800-915-9658. 800-915-9658. If you're struggling to pay or haven't been making your student loan payments, listen carefully to this urgent alert. Have you been out of school for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? Are your student loans past due or even in default? Can't go back to school because of an old student loan problem? Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month, based on what you can afford to pay. One quick 10-minute call could help you solve your student loan problems. So call right now. Not available in all states. Payments may vary based on income.
800-685-0129. 800-685-0129. 800-685-0129. That's 800-685-0129.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
I'm up on the tie wire. One side's ice and one is fire. It's a circus game with you and me. I'm up on the tie.
Welcome back. It is 51 minutes after the hour. Final segment already. 2 hours just like that here. Garden America on Biz Talk Radio. John at gardenamerica.com. Also taking questions, comments on Facebook Live. Thank you for watching. If you want to post on Facebook where you're watching us from, that would be fun to kind of see where everybody is today. Got a note from Ireland, Mississippi, Wyoming. List goes on and on, John. I think we're going to change the name to Garden World. You're right.
Well, we used to get, back when we only had phone calls and there was no internet access, we used to get calls from Australia.
Australia. We had one from, was it the Virgin Islands one time?
Well, we used to be on in the Virgin Islands. Remember, we were on a station there.
Yeah.
So we got a couple calls.
Alaska. I think Alaska chimed in a few times.
Clam Gulch, Alaska was our very first call we ever got on the radio.
Clam Gulch.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? It's right next to Dead Man's Gulch, I think.
Yeah. Fortunately, it was a question about roses. So I was able to answer it.
I don't know if I can answer.
Hey, we promised going into the break that we would get Keith's second question answered.
Right.
And it's about roses.
There you go,
Speaking
John.
of roses.
Right in your wheelhouse.
He says, I'm having a pretty bad infestation of rust, and I'm having a hard time controlling it. Would it be okay to start from scratch again and do summer pruning?
He's right on the coast as well.
Yeah, he is, and it's been a bad year for rust. And This is what you could do. Yeah, you can do summer pruning, pull off all the leaves on those plants that are infected with rust, and then fertilize them with the Bayer all-in-one rose and flower care, because that will give you a systemic control of your fungi. So as the new leaves come out, they won't be infected with the rust again. So yeah, you can go ahead and do that.
Start over again.
Yeah.
When would you not want to do that as far as pulling off all the leaves? Is there certain times of year where that is 100% the wrong decision?
Yeah, in the spring when all the new leaves are coming out.
Yeah.
That would be wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
but I mean, just during the new cycle, but
well,
anytime that it's kind of weathered.
In California, you have the dormant season in the winter, but then also in the summer you have kind of a semi-dormant season in between bloom times. So it's okay. I've cut back some roses now that I moved, and cut them back to almost nothing. And it's been 2 weeks now, and they're all popping out with new leaves and look really good.
So don't do it in the spring, and then don't do it in the early fall?
Well, in fall, you're looking for that last bloom.
Right, so don't do it then, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it then.
Okay.
Now is a good time, though. In fact, I did that the other day.
Did you cut them back, too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're going to grow again. I'll probably get a couple of more spurts of growth between now and fall.
Okay, well, we got an email with a picture from Patty in San Marcos. And she goes, is it okay to prune this geranium now? The new shoots are coming up from the middle, but it's overshadowing other plants. And it's funny because she's got one of those fuzzy scented leaf geraniums.
Oh, yeah.
And going up the steps to the top of my property, I've got a clump right by the palm tree. And that thing just grows like crazy. And I just went through and cut it back. So, yeah, this is a great time of year to cut that back. With all the heat, geraniums are going to be growing without any problems anyway.
Where do we go next, gentlemen?
This is a follow-up on our question on rust from Eileen.
Rust has been the second-hour topic today.
And she says, John, I heard your on-air answer saying to use the Bayer all-in-one rose and flower care every 6 weeks. Since the gladiolas already have rust on them, can it be sprayed on the leaves or only watered into the soil? Eileen, I would just water it into the soil, but it won't hurt once it's mixed up properly if you pour it on the leaves and let it go into the soil. I do that on, let's see, what have I been using it for? Daylilies, really. I have some gladiolas, but no rust on those. But the daylily rust, especially older varieties of daylilies, it's really important to use that. So that takes care of that. And I think am I caught up?
Wow, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. We've been hitting a lot of questions this morning.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Thank you from Keith, who said thanks for answering his questions, and great show as always.
That's good to hear. Thank you again. We appreciate the support. Got a few minutes to go until we wrap things up on this Saturday. And again, thank you for tuning in, watching on Facebook Live. Tell your friends and family. The entire Bagnasco family tuned in this morning. Like to keep families together.
I got to start having your sons chime in here.
Well, Jesse's on the East Coast somewhere.
Okay.
And Joe is working up in L.A., but last weekend he spent surfing because of the hot weather we had.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I guess the surf was the surf up last weekend?
Yeah, we had a hurricane down in Baja that was pushing some surf up this
How's
way.
the water temperature been?
71.
Wow.
Amazing.
Are you kidding? So great surf and beautiful temperature.
You feel like you're in Hawaii. It's spectacular.
That is so nice.
He was up in... They were surfing in Oceanside, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
No wetsuits. No wetsuits allowed. No reason.
Well, you know, it was funny because he said it was so much fun. He said there was a seal that kept following us, and Jesse told him, he says, you know, seals are not good to have while you're surfing because
they'll bite you.
Well, he said they're food for sharks.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go.
When you're out surfing, the dolphin is your best friend.
Yep.
Because usually when you see them, other creatures kind of stay out of the area because they travel in packs and they aren't afraid of anything.
No, they're not.
The seal or sea lion is your worst friend.
And because they swim solo.
Yeah, and they're right there for everything to eat.
Now, have you ever seen a shark surfing?
Yes, but not a big one.
Not a big one.
Not. I would say it was as big as me, so 6 foot tall. But when you think about that, half of that is the tail. So it's not that big of a shark.
No, but
I would be scared of a 10-foot long shark.
Yeah.
But 6 foot, not too bad. It's.
Well, you don't surf up at Mavericks or off the coast of San Francisco.
Oh, where the ocean is alive.
Oh my gosh! Would you are you qualified to surf Mavericks?
I have not surfed Mavericks, but I have surfed a place called Coon Creek off of Montaña de Oro in the Morro Bay area, and that's scary. It's scary up there.
Now, what about where was it you went surfing? Was it Bali or Fiji or
both?
Both.
We can talk about that next week because gosh darn it, we're out of time. Hey, thank you so much for the entire crew. I want to thank Brandon. I want to thank Zach. I want to thank Jeremiah. I want to thank all the listeners, Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco. I'm Bryan Main, of course, and thank you again for tuning in Facebook Live. We'll do it again next Saturday, same time. We'll kick things off at 8 o'clock in the West Coast, 11 a.m. Eastern Time Zone. Until then, get growing America. Take care, be safe, enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye for now.